What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, my good folk? It's your boy Inside 11. And right now we're talking about, you already know, trying to fit in, which is basically like chameleon behavior. So what is trying to fit in? What is chameleon behavior? Well, when you're trying to fit in a box that doesn't fit or match your suit or needs, you leave a part of you behind, or you degrade, or you devalue yourself because you value something outside of you, something that's not even meant for you. So when you're doing this chameleon behavior, when you're doing this I'm trying to fit in type of energy, like I was doing, you're going to leave your attributes, you're going to leave your characteristics outside of that box, or you're going to bring your attributes and characteristics inside that box, but you're going to extremely devalue these attributes and characteristics. And so you're not going to be able to shine and receive the attention, the energy that, I don't want to say you deserve, because what you deserve is what you believe. And so you always manifest what you believe in, because whatever you believe, that's exactly what you're going to manifest. So if you believe you're poor, you're going to create being poor. If you believe you shouldn't express yourself, you're not going to express yourself. If you're not going to believe in speaking your life into existence, you're not going to speak your life into existence. So to me, in my life personally, I've always been a background character in someone else's storyline, just sitting back there watching people do what they do. I'm just sitting there supporting, cheerleading. Yeah, friend, that's a great thing you did. I support you. But I'm here all the time supporting other people and not even supporting myself. Now, why would I not even support myself? Well, it's actually very simple. It's because I simply did not value myself. And it's because sometimes we grow up in an environment that doesn't teach us about our own self-worth and our personal values and our personal virtues and principles that we live our lives with every single day. Now, you're already living with your virtues and principles, but you've devalued those virtues and principles into basically nothingness. So someone else is going to see you as the powerful, beautiful person that you is from inside, because you should design from the inside, and they're going to take your attributes and characteristics and they're going to put it into their box, and they're going to pimp you for the sake of their game. But you got to understand the starting point at first is that you started pimping yourself by you selling and valuing yourself short. So for me personally, when I started valuing myself short, well, I was kind of born like that, almost. Like, I don't want to say I was born like that, but obviously if you're in a flesh suit in the goddamn third dimension, then you need to do some work on yourself, because ain't no way you're gonna come into this flesh. Ain't no way you're gonna come to this density if you didn't have some type of lesson to learn. And for me, that lesson was maintaining my own individual identity while also being able to create associations that are, equivalent and see my value as I see their value. And so when I was younger, I would always be around people, places, and things that didn't value how I expressed myself, but mainly because I didn't value how I expressed myself. So if even somebody would step into my life and they even like me for just by me simply being me, I'd be like, what the hell is that? Is that a koala? Is that a monkey? Let me get the hell away. Is that love? Okay, let me walk away from that love right away. And it's because I've extremely devalued myself and, basically put my head to the floor by letting somebody put their foot on top of my head while, I just serve their needs and serve their wants, and I just give up everything like, yes, you need this from me? Yes, no worries. And so we all go through these situations, but we stay in these situations and we develop this chameleon like behavior where we take on the attributes and characteristics of our environment, and we try to uphold those virtues and principles that are external to us, but that may be opposing to us, that may be a learning opportunity to us, or may even create an opportunity depending on the virtues and principles outside of us. Not that if something outside of you is opposing you is bad or good, but when you're younger like me, or you remember you're older watching this video, you might devalue yourself to such a degree that you take all your gifts and talents and you just keep them internal, and then you ask yourself, oh God, okay, why do you do this to me? Why do I have to go through this? Why we simply, or I simply, signed up for the program to be part of the lower class, to be part of the middle class, and extremely devalue myself like some kind of wares from China or something like that China is bad or anything. So when you develop this chameleon-like behavior, it just kind of stems from this internal nature that you can't really present yourself. You can't really present how God created you and designed you to be for whatever reason or the other. Now, people who place their things are not necessarily expecting this from you, but this type of behavior, being a chameleon and trying to fit in, might attract narcissists and things like that. People who are even like covert narcissists, where like they don't even want you to see that they're narcissists, but they are just narcissists behind closed doors, and they're really using your energy so they can make themselves look a certain type of way. Because whenever you display this act or behavior of you trying to fit in, you needing a group, and let's say you want to fit into some type of group, let's say you want to be part of the cool kids in school, you might have to pay a certain price to be part of the cool kids in school, where you might have to put back certain thoughts and feelings that you normally would see as normal or never even expressed before, even agree to those terms and conditions, just based on that being the price. And since you want to fit in so badly, you're like, yes, please accept me. Please tell me I'm worthy. Can I be a part of you guys? Oh, please. So you're going to willingly sell your experiences again and again and again and go through that same type of circumstance against the better judgment of your gut, which is telling you, hey, bro, we don't really got to do this. We can go do some other shit. Because when you understand God is all possibilities. And so, based on whatever geographical location you are from, we all go to school and we all go through these experiences of, oh, okay, there's this divide in school. There's these type of kids, this type of kids, this type of kids, this type of kids. And it's all by design. Because the more divided that you are in school, you start to leave even outside of school and thinking, okay, this just must be the way of the world and people can't come together. But we have the power to make new things that are possible, but we only like to make the old, same, repeated things that are possible. But we just do it in so many different creative ways that really just the same result, but it really stems from a certain way of you feeling about yourself. Now, not everybody goes through this. This is just what I went through personally for me to even be where I am today, looking back, realizing like, damn, look, all I was trying to do was fit in, trying to be part of a group, trying to do this chameleon behavior. Now it's going to be in stages because you're going to get tired of fitting in. You're going to get tired of just turning your mind or your chakras into the colors of your environment. And hey, some people need to do that to actually survive. But I mean, but the energy, whenever you think and feel about what you really are, your true existence, your prior existence before this fear-based matrix, there's a lot of things that you can make possible through yourself, through the pheromones that you release, through your character. Who knows? You might go to that group of kids being the nerd in school, but just because you imbue this, you have this energy, this certain way of going about yourself, this confidence, this authority, you're going to change this whole cool kids group perception for them to begin to changing themselves, and then for them to begin perceiving that group of nerds differently. But see, if you never even took those steps, that wouldn't even be possible. So we leave school, we go to college, we go to workplace, and there's all these different groups divided, and we live our lives. We observe this everywhere. We're like, okay, the blacks are with the blacks, the whites with the whites, the Jews are with the Jews, and we just accept that as being a regular part of everyday life. While in reality, we always accepted a role of fitting in. We always accepted a rope, a mental rope, and we just wear those colors, and we don't want to wear anything else because we just think like that's the end all and be all. Like Crips and Bloods, for example. Like, damn, if I was part of a gang when I was younger, damn, bro, that was gonna be very hard for me to leave because I know myself. I know, I try to be very, very relatable and very communicative when it comes to initiating new ways of communicating and appreciating with people. And I know that I'm a very sensitive person, so I know, like, damn, the other person might not feel my struggle and what I go through, me being part of it, but I'm very, very empathetic. So me just even have those attributes and characteristics, I'm not going to be able to leave that circumstance just based on how I'm designed. But I have to understand that, okay, these characteristics and attributes can be used in a higher octave way rather than a lower octave way. And so if I was leaving the gang, that gang is obviously going to threaten you. They're going to create all types of narratives for you not to leave. Because you need to bring the money back to the set. But again, that's you leaving that, and you having to walk through that fire and the brimstone is like a whole experience that God, the universe, they really want to see, okay, are you willing to separate from this? Because it's not going to feel good, but, you're going to have to separate from this. You don't even have to separate physically right away, but you got to separate mentally and start to create the circumstances and the situations and play the game that's being played behind the scenes. There's a lot of like gang members will just use like toxic shame and guilt and gaslight their own other members. Oh, why did you bring money back to the set, brother? Don't you know we're the homies? You gotta bring the money back to the set because our big G, our big homeboy said this is what we gotta do. So it's just how life works. Whenever you try to separate from something, that something is not gonna let you separate from it. But that's just how things work, because a lot of people don't know how to let go. A lot of people don't know how to let go of their children and let their children experience life. A lot of friends don't know how to let their so-called friends let them go and let them, because when you understand a person, place, or thing is not good for you, or that person, place, or things knows they are not good for you, but they still keep on doing the same behavior again and again, is because you're allowing them to be in the position to do that behavior. Because again, life is a movie, and we've all accepted the role in that movie. And so whenever you do this chameleon behavior, you're basically saying, okay, I'm willing to take on any mentality, I'm willing to take on any type of individuality, I'm willing to take on any type of passion or uphold any type of desire, just so I can be observed as a part of this role, as a part of this group. Because you don't have to be part of the presented groups, option A, option B, which is like conservatives and liberals, or whatever it is in your country where you live. You don't have to be Christian or Muslim. Whatever it is, whatever polarity you experience in your geographical location, you don't have to choose option A or B. You don't have to choose the cool kids or the nerds. You can just create some shit in between, and you can show everybody in the school a whole new example of a whole new individuality that can be experienced in this reality. But again, a lot of the times, even these people that are called the cool kids or whatever, conservatives and liberals, they're only living life with their perception. So we just have a divided perception. So we don't see the infinity possibilities that can be created. But you're never going to create a new possibility if you're always trying to fit in with a group of people just based on you needing some kind of gratification, some kind of approval. Like, oh, good job, house nigga. Come back next Sunday. Your blessing is coming. Or good job, Muslim. Pray for Allah, because you are Abdullah. You are a slave of Allah, brother, and that's a good thing. You should accept it. So, somebody's always going to try to bamboozle us, finesse us, put us in a position where we don't even want to be in. But, just based on basic psychology and things like that, most humans tend to want to be approved of, or tend to need that to even feel like they are living life. And the version of life that you are being sold is really a dead corpse. That's why they call it a corporation. That's why a corporation is just a corpse. It's a fictitious body. So you're basically telling God, if you're fitting in or you have chameleon behavior, that you want to live inside of a fictitious body, a dead corpse. And that's what this universe is. It's a dead fetus. It's just a dead corpse. It's like dying. So we gotta stop attaching to these death cults and these death ideals, because Jesus said that he came so that you may have life, and life more abundantly. But how come you are signing up for death? So you need to ask yourself, why did I wake up this morning and homie texted me, and homie said I need to be at his house at 6 o'clock, and in fact I need to go to the Walmart, I need to grab some flowers because he needs to drop some flowers to his girl, and he doesn't have time for that because homie is just sleeping, and whatever happened. So somebody is getting you to do something, but you're not seeing your worth and your value, and you're constantly saying yes to that situation. So you're inviting self-hatred, you're inviting fear, you're inviting doubt, and most importantly, you're inviting the so-called vampires or energy demons, or whatever you want to call them, however you want to label them, because you've already created the label in your mind for them. That person, place, or thing is not good for you. Those associations are not good for you, but yet you keep on participating to that circumstance based on you having to lower your value, having to kiss somebody else's feet from a mental perspective. Now You don't even want to do that, but you've been doing a set of behaviors for so long that that became the normal to you. Like for me, I would always try to fit into a group of people that I didn't even necessarily belong to. And that made me cry sometimes because, man, I knew what I was doing. I knew I was trying to fit in. I knew that I wasn't necessarily spiritually welcome from a holistic perspective in that environment. So I would try to fit in. I would just silence myself. And man, I would cry at the bus stop because I knew I wasn't being myself. I knew it in my gut that I had been giving up a part of myself for so long, but I didn't know how to let go of that behavior because it's almost as if I needed to behave that way to survive in the first place. And so, since all I knew in my life was survival, since all I've seen around me was people trying to survive, I've just attached myself to a set of behaviors that weren't even good for me. And so, the person that eats a lot of fat and they're in a mind state, they're a glutton, they are lazy, they sit and watch TV. They know what they do to themselves, but because they're so attached to that set of behavior, they keep doing again and again the bad things. And so you're telling me you're doing a bad thing to yourself, and the doctor is gonna amputate your legs and cut that shit off in next week, but you're not doing nothing to get into into an healthy position with yourself, whether it's mentally or physically, until that day the doctor tells you got cancer, and then until then you might not care. So you're telling me God has to push you that far? No wonder we have to experience this shit. Because if we was already aware, if we was already bright bulbs as spirits, then God would never have to take us through this shit. I mean, you would never put yourself through this shit if we was bright individuals. And so, man, I'm pleading with you. Man, I'm begging you. Look into your own life. Look at the things that you repeat again and again and again and learn from them as fast as possible. Because if you don't take yourself out of that position, then yeah, bruh, you shit. You might literally experience death, where it's like the elements being expressed at you are so much, you're like, nope, I'm just gonna kill myself. In fact, you might not even want to help yourself. You might just want to kill yourself. You might be like, nah, fuck it. I'm just killing myself. I'm out of this shit. This world, yeah, it ain't really for me. But you're in this world to overcome all the wild darts of the devil or the demon. But you're the demon. You're the devil because you keep repeating that same situation again and again. So you gotta kill that mental disposition of lack of doubt, that parasite that have attached itself to your mind, that hijacked your nervous system, so you can no longer react to things from a healthy way. So you gotta clear up your mind, and you gotta renew your mind by knowing yourself. So man, I don't know how to say this. Just please examine your behavior. Look at the things you do again and again, the things that repel people away from you, the things that attract people to you, and try to understand what's the advantages and what's the disadvantages by carefully examining that belief system that was given to you, so you can start to create a belief system that aligns and is harmonious with your reality. My brothers and my sisters, man, it's really an honor. It really is a privilege for me to even come here and express myself honestly and authentically, because a couple of years back I might have been scared to say some shit like this, but you know what? Because it's helping me. It's helping me love myself even more and like myself even more, regardless of the past, regardless of how I felt or thought previously. And B, it's helping somebody else out there who's going through the same thing. And this is why I would encourage you to be authentic and not to be ashamed and experience toxic guilt for whatever that circumstance that you're creating in your life, because it is okay. Other people right now are going through the same situation, same trauma, same drama. They're just waiting for one of you high vibrational individuals to make yourself known and to create an experience for them so they can begin to stimulate themselves out of that simulation. So I love you. I appreciate you. And there's nothing y'all can do about it. Peace.